You are listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Your host are Wole and Mo. Glenn and Ray are out. What is good, Mo? It's been a while since we did this show, but we back at it, bro.
Hey man, the grass. You can start smelling the grass outside, man. That heat starting to hit the back of your neck.
I know, man.
It's feeling like training camp is around the corner, man. So I'm excited, baby. I'm excited to kick off this season of All Burgundy and Gold Everything, man, and just get a fan something to listen to week in and week out as we build up to training camp and through training camp and see what this season really unfold to be. There's a lot of things still in the works. That ownership sale still has to go through.
Yeah.
You got Sam Howell's going to be a big
question
topic.
mark.
Yep. Chase is going to be a big topic of discussion this year. So
Eric Bieniemy and Eric Bieniemy offense.
EB is going to be a big storyline, man.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things to look forward to, man. Hope everybody taps in every week as we chop it up and break it down.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, but before we get into the main stuff, let's get into the particulars, man. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. And hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Do not forget, let me say it again. Do not forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel as well. All right, man, here's our topic. Here's the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We will talk about the potential of Jamin Davis coming into this season. So, Mo, start off with this question, man. Commanders linebacker Jamin Davis will be hoping to build on his improving play last season. Do you see Davis taking this game to the next level?
I mean, it's a big year for him. Being a first-round draft pick, we know that this third year is going to dictate whether they pick up that option or not. So I think it's a natural progression. I think he started, his rookie year was out of place. A lot of people complained about him being out of place, being drafted and put somewhere else. It's kind of like they was trying to fit a square into a circle peg. And then last year we saw how he came on towards the end of the year. Double digits tackle games and just flying around and looking very, very much so confident. So I think it all depends on his improvement in his game this year. Depends on if there's going to be some familiarity with the position that he plays. We know that they brought him. Is it Bart from the Seattle Seahawks? I believe.
Cody.
And I think that they like his command so far. What I'm hearing, they like his command of the defense, and they're thinking about putting him in the middle. If that's true. I think Jamin, has the physical tool set to be successful at the weak side backer, but we've seen that when he gets to roam free in the middle and how he came on towards the end of the year, I think they shouldn't mess up a good thing right there. Leave him there and just build his confidence and getting the defense lined up and getting the calls in. And let everything else flow around him. He is the first-round draft pick at the position, so I think he deserves that opportunity to showcase what he came here to do.
Yeah, so it's wild because I had the same thought process you did about him playing middle. I thought he turned up, and I was told by folks who watch. I don't watch film and I don't watch tape. I won't even hold you. I'm not that type of person. And they were like, he really wasn't playing middle last year. It was like the Buffalo nickel, and it was you had Cam Curl playing it. You had even what's his face? You have Curl playing it. You just had Curl in the Buffalo nickel spot. He would play most of it. Supposedly, that's what I was told. But either way, his game went up. You know what I mean? He improved. So like what you're saying, he improved. And you utilize him more on that weak side at that position, but he was still racking up tackles. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, a linebacker is still a good offense is still going to exploit you any which way. So whatever it is, if you're on the weak side, then if you can't cover, they're going to try to take advantage of you which way. Like, it doesn't matter. But he played well, you know what I mean? And at times I believe he did play some middle, but it wasn't like a lot, right? But he played well. It was an improvement. And you look at, in any young player, you hope for improvement, right? That's what it is. Like, so you would like a bigger jump, obviously. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want like a bigger jump, but if you go from year one, right, first year as a rookie, 76 tackles, 1 sack, right, as a rookie, nothing, right, nothing. Second year, even with all the stuff that he was happening in the beginning of the season, finished the season with over 100 tackles, had 3 sacks, right? So there is the projection, there is the upward climb, and then you add into that, you know, and I said the same thing even about, you know, a Chase Young. What's going to help Chase is the talent around him should make him a better player, right? Forget like he should build on his own technique, right? But his talent will allow him to be better. Now you're getting a Chase Young back into this offense, to this defense. That should make your life a little bit easier on some of the things in terms of even building sack numbers, right? Say they want to bring you out in the blitz. Now you got guys who are gonna be worried about Chase, gonna be worried about Montez, gonna be worried about Deron, gonna be worried about Allen, right? Shoot, that means an open gap for you to get some extra sacks. So there are possibilities for him to really take his game to the next level, not just on tackles, right? Because we know that tackles are great, but a lot of times some people get tackles and they're not the same linebackers.
Tackles definitely have to be time. They have to be, you know, if all your tackles are down the field, like
exactly, that's my point.
You can have all the tackles in the world, you know what I mean? So you want tackles to be closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
You know, tackle for loss, you know, on significant third down plays to get the defense off the field. But I think a point that you made was the fact that he was in the middle, but it was sort of like the middle and that Buffalo nickel. Yeah. And it makes sense, right? Because he's a dynamic athlete. Dynamic sideline to sideline that we know. There's a lot of explosiveness to him, and he's not the biggest person in terms of like he's not a traditional linebacker walking around 250. Yes, right. So like he's a big safety. He could be. You mean if you think about it, for some people, you know, like back what we've seen, like the Adrian Wilsons of the world, whatnot. So that position could be fitting, especially in this time of positionalist players on defense. Like it probably makes sense why his sack numbers, I mean, not his sack numbers, his numbers went and increased towards the end of the year because he was in space. He was where he belongs, like in the fold. He can come down and make plays, and his speed can help do things on the other side. But like you said, I think fortifying that secondary behind him, and then the return of Chase Young and what we already know about the Alabama Wall and Montez being in the contract year, it seems like the defense has improved drastically, especially on paper, right? It still takes time to see it on the field.
Yes, it's paper.
But like the supporting cast around him on the defense this year should lend itself for him to be able to, especially with the improvements in the secondary that we saw forced to come out of nowhere last year, right? Have a solid year. We expect some of the same things from Curl to roll over this year, right? So that should fortify the safeties. You bring in Forbes as a first-round draft pick, and he's supposed to man one front. We got St. Juice. We know what he's done. We have Fuller, and I forget what the young Illinois' name is that is slated to play some.
He could play. Oh God, I'm having a moment. Yeah, I know his name.
He's supposed to play Buffalo nickel or some nickel.
He plays some slot. He's gonna play a lot of slot. He's gonna play a lot of slot.
Exactly. Right, so he's going to play a lot of slot, especially when they get into those 3 wide receiver sets. Jamin's going to be on the field with him. It seems like it has improved around him. So where the better coverage will lend itself to having more time to pass rush, and then the pass rush also improvement will lend itself more time to him making some plays in you know, out in the field. Or with getting some pressure at the quarterback. So I think a lot of things should align for him and get him and be in his favor this year, especially in this also important third year that we know of a first-round draft pick's career.
You talking about Martin from Illinois. Martin. Yeah. So I agree. I think the talent around him is going to make it easier. I think the comfortability in the defense and the talent around him, you know what I mean, will make him because just of God-given physical attributes. It works out for him, right? And I'm not even talking about tackles. I'm just talking about like the sack number. I expect the sack number to potentially go upwards. If he's going to be utilized like we saw last season, he was blitzing a lot more, especially with the speed.
Get more reps at that weak side.
Yeah, weak side, and the speed that you see now with the speed on your ends, just that alone, with Chase. You know, even Chase come back after an ACL, like this is going to be as healthy as he's going to be, like for real. Like this is the year you're healthy. And with Montez, and Montez too is, you know, Montez in just terms of his Montez consistently puts pressure on you regardless. May not get home all the time, but consistently puts pressure on you.
Consistently high pressure guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we both agree, right? So we said the talent around him should lend itself to better numbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
What's a good season for Jamin Davis then? What are we looking at? Like, I mean, we want it to be impactful, but like, stats are an easy telltale sign for most fans.
Yeah.
But what do we see as a good season for him?
For me, like I said, I think that, all right, this is prediction, bold or whatnot. Over 100 tackles, right? You're a linebacker. You gotta get over 100 tackles. You got three sacks. You can bump it to 5. I think you can get 2 more sacks, 5, and then you gotta make one spectacular play. So I can see him get a pick because with that speed, a pick 6, and I think that's a good season for Jamin. Like it's that simple to me. Like that, I can see to me that's attainable. I have people on social media say like, "Wow, that's Pro Bowl numbers." I mean, like there are a lot of Pro Bowls out there. There's some really great linebackers, but I think the bar folks look at Jamin, they set the bar low. But just off, if you look at the stats of what he did last year, God-given ability, he got over 100. He got 3 sacks, and he can only get better off of that. Like you see what he can do, and they didn't even blitz him enough to a lot of people. You blitz him more with the Chase, with the Montez, with the Allen, with the Payne. I think those are stats that he can get.
Like I think the 100 tackle number is too low. I think I think on the weak side, I think if you're talking about playing 17 games, let's say he stays healthy all 17 games.
What? Good point, yeah.
I need 7 tackles per game.
So how you should 7 tackles? So you want
if he gives me 8, I know he's at 130. I know that's quick math off the top of my head.
130,
tackles a game. That's 130 some tackles, right? So if you're in the top 10 of tackles, top 12, of the tackles in the league. You talked about those 5 sacks. There should be more opportunities now, right? We know what the Alabama wall does in the middle and collapsing pockets. Sure. We know what Chase Young and Montez bring. He's an additional weapon. He's an additional guy that can come after the quarterback. So there should be some opportunities there because the defensive front is already spectacular. And that's without Chase Young last year, right?
Yes.
Chase Young coming back off injury, feeling like himself should at least draw some attention. I
agree.
Right. So I think it's fair to say that sack number should to rise to 5. And he can have somewhat of a my guy in Tampa Bay's name.
David.
His name is
David.
Not David, the other one. Devin White.
White? Devin White.
Yeah, he should have a Devin White type impact in terms of pass rushing from the linebacker position at least. I mean, you know how because Devin White was a middle backer with 9 sacks when it didn't make any sense, right? So, like, I'm not saying he's going to get 9, but when you start seeing, especially when they start going to these 3-4 wide receiver sets, he's going to be the one that's on the field.
Yeah.
So, bringing that additional pressure, being that extra guy, possibly get there. Even though we do know they're going to use him in some coverage, but mixing it up, there should be some opportunities there. And especially with the strong play at the safeties now, I think will lend itself for him to be the one to send home instead of somebody else. So I'm looking, man, I need 125 tackles, man. I need 125 tackles. I'm not taking it easy on Jay first round draft pick.
I mean, you gotta be better. I agree.
Whether they reach for him or not, you got an extra game, 17 games. I need 125 tackles. I need more than the 3 that he got this year. 3 to 5 is cool. As long as those 3 are impact. And like you said, most importantly, like you said, let us see a display of what makes Jamin Davis, like a pick 6, like like we remember Chase's scoop and score, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Iconic play. You mean an iconic play? I agree. I totally agree.
I think that'll leave a good taste in the mouth of the fans about him going into the negotiations in the summertime about whether they should give him his 5th-year option or not.
Yeah.
Because of some significant, it should look better. It should be something that catches the attention of the fans. So it was like, ooh, we remember that.
No, I agree. So on our Facebook page, Steven Hendrickson said 100 plus tackles, 5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Stay healthy and play every game. I think 2 interceptions is tough for any linebacker. 4 forced fumbles is tough for any linebacker.
He's saying that every time he gets there, it's a strip sack.
I know, bro. Like that's tough. 4 forced fumbles is tough. But if he creates, like to what Mo was saying, create impactful plays. Like that forcing fumbles, getting interceptions, those are impactful plays. If he can do that, I think a lot of people will be kind of happy and excited about what he can do. I personally, like for me, I think he's capable of doing all that. So like I you've heard me on the show. I am a Jamin Davis supporter. You can put me in that group. I am a supporter because I believe in the talent, and I do believe that sometimes, Mo, you coached. I'm a firm believer in, we like to jump on people's weaknesses, and it's easy. But a good coach jumps on your strengths and just really harnesses the strengths and utilizes those strengths to make whatever you coach better, right? Whatever you coach better. So I just feel like with this defensive front, with that speed, you can utilize that to make your defense better. I mean, it happened here with LeVar Arrington. A lot of people back in the day, LeVar, people used to be enamored with, oh, he's a freelancer, he can't do this. Well, then there's coaches like Marty came out. Marty used LeVar the way LeVar needed to be used, and he had his best year under Marty, right? So it's just, to me, you utilize your talent to what that player can do. So I think Jamin, with that you run a 4-3. You are strong. You may be short in height, but you strong, boy. You country strong. Like, you strong. Like, you're explosive. You're an explosive player. Like, we've seen it on plays. Like, we've seen this dude hit the gap and like, yo, this dude fast as I don't know. Like, to a point where even a quarterback like Jalen Hurts can get away from. Like, Jalen could get away from. So, like, that ability is there, and you could utilize that for your defense to make sure that, to make your defense, to add to that potent defense, to the players we've mentioned already. So, yeah, man, I think that he's capable of doing it.
Trust, man.
Yeah,
it comes down to trust, man. Like, coordinator has to believe in him and his ability and set him and let him loose let him loose. Like you said, I think oftentimes they worry too much about what your weaknesses are. Like, what do I do well? Put me in those situations so that what I do well overshadows what I do
wrong.
Right?
Exactly. Because we can.
If getting to the quarterback, what I do well, do not put me in space.
Yeah.
And your LeVar reference is spot on.
Yeah.
LeVar was a little bit more of a freelancer because LeVar was a little bit more, I think LeVar is just a better player. He's a better player. He's a little bit more of a freestyle player, and he's a freak of nature. He's a freak of nature in his physical gifts, in his ability to play. He was just a more impactful player. But like, you cannot tell me that these guys get this far and you can't pull what they did on tape out of them on this level, especially with better athletes around. Nobody else on that Kentucky defense made it to the NFL, except maybe the corner that plays for Cowboys. But that's about it. Yeah. So with this, with the D line and the improved secondary, at least on paper, like, let this kid be this. Let him be what he is. Let him be what he is. Let him be a heck of a football player, and like, basically sick your pit bull on him.
Yeah. I know, I agree. It's just like, even look at the Eagles. Look at the Eagles when they got Reddick out of from Arizona. So look at, I mean, it wasn't like, I'm not saying he was horrible Arizona, but you see how much better he is with the Eagles. You know what I'm saying?
Their talent supported his skill set. You know what I mean? They let him free.
Yeah.
I mean, so he was always on the rise. Like,
yeah, he was on the rise. He was on the rise, but
he was in Carolina, he showed some things. When he was in Arizona, he showed some things. And then last year, boom, all pro.
So that's the thing.
Pro. Like, you put him around some other dogs, and this team is full of dogs. Let's not. And that's what brought a lot of resentment from a lot of fans last year. This team has some dogs.
Yeah.
You got two D tackles that are considered top 10 D tackles in the league, according to most executives and whatnot. They're getting paid handsomely. They do their part. Montez Sweat, Montez Sweat is like a second or third tier type DN. Like, if we keep it a buck, Montez Sweat is one of the better second DNs on the team in the league, right? The way we think about it, we don't think of him as a premier pass rusher, but like, if he was the number 2 DN on most teams, he's. I think his pressure rate shows that.
Is high. He's elite. He's one of the best. He's one of the best pressure dudes. Period. It's just that he don't come. I mean, my thought on Montez is totally different from everybody else. I think Montez is the best defensive end on the team, but that's a whole different argument. Like, I just think he is. I think
why I said that, because most people think it's the draft positioning that makes Chase more.
I mean, Montez is the best pass rusher. Best defensive end pass rusher. Sorry, best defensive end pass rusher. Let me be fair.
Until he's unseated, we'll see. You know what I mean? Chase got. Hey, I tell people all the time, Chase need more people. He got some proving to do.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. I like Chase. I think I'm when I say
and
this,
we all like
I
Chase.
like
Trust me,
Chase, man. I
I
like
like
Chase.
Chase.
Yeah, I know you do. Like I always when people come for Chase, I'm like, nah, he gonna be good. But but I said this is rookie year. I said that everybody was paying Chase. I think Montez was getting more pressure, and his rookie year was good. So it's not like I'm knocking Chase for. I'm just saying like Montez is a freak athlete too. Let's put it that way. He's a freak athlete too. He ran a 4.3. That and so he's freakish. So he's
So
everything's good.
let's take it back to Jamin then. Let's take it back to Jamin, man, and close this out. Like we've talked about what the numbers should look like, why we think the numbers should be there. Like, give me one area of improvement that you want to see this training camp and early this season that'll let you know that he's slated for everything that we think he's going to do.
I think it's easy, like for every athlete, you just gotta know you that dude. You just gotta know. I don't care about the plays. You gotta work on your coverage. You gotta worry about knowing what plays are being run and hitting the gap. You gotta just say F it and go for it. Like that's the thing. Like it's all about confidence. And he was getting confident. It's not like I'm saying he ain't a confident dude, but you gotta be that dude. Like you can hate on folks can hate on. I can say folks can hate on Chase or this, that, and the other. But Chase believe he that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a mentality thing. Like, yeah, he gotta work on some things to make sure he is that dude, but he don't lack confidence. Like he ain't lacking that at all. Like at all. Like when Jamin Davis gets on the field, not to say he doesn't. I'm not saying this kid lacks confidence, but he gotta know he's him. He gotta say, I'm him. Like he gotta play like I'm him. Like that's it. Like talking, whatever. And he gotta let those coaches know he's him. Like it gets to that point. Like that's what to me his improvement. It's I could say, yeah, man, he got covered a little bit. He wasn't a bad cover. He got covered better. He gotta own this defense or he gotta take control. I could do all that. I could say all that. But as an athlete, when you him and you feel that you him, you ain't worried about all that other stuff. Like all that other stuff's gonna play its part. Like we can say that for instance, I can say that I'm using another team, Jalen Hurts. I can name you Jalen Hurts things I think Jalen Hurts needs to work on. I can easily say it, but it don't matter. Why? Because he thinks he feels that he's him. You know it, and it showed in the Super Bowl. It showed in the last year, the whole season. Like we talked, you can say like, well, he got to do this better. He emphasized. He knew he was that dog. He played like he was that dog. He let them coaches know he's that dog, and them coaches believe that he was that dog, and you saw that dog on the field.
Okay,
that's what Jamin need to do.
Because you went with a trait, I'm gonna take it to something that you talked about something that affected the whole game. I'm gonna go to one aspect of his game that I think should be clear cut because everybody's back.
Yeah,
I think that his tackles for loss should spike up because of the Alabama wall in front of him. We know what they're gonna do. We know what Chase and them are gonna do. So he should be able to diagnose the play. Shoot whatever gap he needs to shoot and be a terror in the backfield whether he's getting tackled or he's causing the spill to get the tackle. I think if we see that more often than not, this defense is going to be highly ranked. Jamin Davis is going to be talked about in high regard and it's not even necessarily something that he needs to add to his game. The team just lends itself to that.
It does.
With having all those dogs in front of him, right? Like that should be something that we easily see an increase in, where we can say, you know what, there goes some improvement there. So I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna take it to the field and say, you said the swagger, the way he carries himself, he should wear that confidence. And I'm gonna say, if we see that spike in tackles for loss from him, everybody's gonna be singing a different tune about him.
I like that. I think that's fair. That's definitely. I agree with that. You can diagnose the play and attack it, and because everybody's getting doubled. I mean, not everybody, but folks will be getting doubled. We know the wall is getting doubled. That's a guarantee. Those two will be getting doubled. Which creates lanes for you to get through and to make plays for tackles for loss. I'm with that. I totally agree. All right, man. This has been a dope show. Next week we got another one for y'all. We're gonna have a couple shows in a row. Then after that, you may see me hobbling, folks. I'm still trying to do the show though. Y'all gonna see me on crutches or something. I'm gonna hide my crutches though. I'm gonna hide them joints. I don't need the whole look like I'm a soldier, like I'm Paul Pierce. I don't want to.
You are an African man.
Exactly.
Pride.
Toughness. Pride.
Hey,
I ain't want no Paul Pierce type of crap. I'm gonna show you my real toughness. I don't got time for that.
Hey,
Hey,
man.
hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at
Hey.
ABG_everything. And hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. And we also on Thread too. I live FYI, so I'm gonna hit y'all the Thread. Same little hat, same little at same thing with at ABG_everything. We on there. So check us out. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel as well. And anyway, this has been a dope show. Not too long, nice and concise and nice and sweet. My man Mo, myself, Wole. We appreciate y'all. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. 4 ages. You dig? Deuces. A mega. Lead us out, big homie.